Hey everyone, Raj here. Hope everyone's well. Today I am back with a review on a fragrance from a house that, to be honest, you don't really hear much about on YouTube. This one is the Italian house of Lorenzo Villoresi, and this is Uomo. It's an EDT, as you can see. What you can actually see in front of you is an official sample spray. So I've gone through a couple of these, so just wanted to give you my thoughts on this fragrance, which is called Uomo, which means man. Now this is a very, what I would say, typical Italian fragrance. I'll go into much more detail, obviously. Let's start off with the sizes, because this comes in a couple of sizes. I'm only going to mention the prices in euros. I do know you can get this in a couple of the German websites. I've seen it on a New York based website called LAFCO. 50 ml EDT will cost you 76 euros. 100 ml will cost you 106 euros. Top notes: bergamot, petitgrain, lemon, orange, a lot of citrus, coriander, lavender, and Elemi. Heart notes: Neroli, ginger, carnation, pepper, and thyme. Quite a few base notes here, quite a few notes in general. Base notes of Vetiver, sandalwood, which I've heard is mentioned as to be sandalwood from Mysore in India. Don't know about that for sure. Patchouly, musk, oakmoss, cedarwood, and rosemary. Right, so I've had one fragrance from this house, and that was Piper Nigrum, which was a black pepper based scent. Really good, kind of a black pepper and lemon or citrus based fragrance. Good fragrance, not one that was in my collection for a huge amount of time, but it was definitely good while it lasted. I feel that this fragrance, Uomo, is a classic man's fragrance. It is a fragrance that I could only imagine on a man. It is almost a old world type fragrance in some ways, but still very modern. It's a soapy, green, slightly citrus, aromatic, herbal, very Italian. It does remind me of a few fragrances I've tried from Ortigia. It reminds me of a couple of fragrances from Prada, and I will mention 2 Prada fragrances at the end of this review. What do I get from the opening of Lorenzo Villoresi's Uomo? Well, you get this beautiful tart, sharp citrus. It's a lime, actually, that dominates for me. A lime type citrus with a juicy bergamot. It's very, very soapy, and I get a subtle hint of rosemary. I don't think you could get any more Italian than this. If you're a fan of, like, Acqua Parma, these types of fragrances, Ortigia, Prada, I think this is definitely worth checking out. It's very, very soapy. It smells like an expensive olive oil based soap. So I mean, I don't know if anyone knows this, or all of you know this, but you get these very expensive handmade Italian olive oil based soaps. They come with like different essential oils of like lavender and rosemary. It's very herbal, it's very uplifting. You might find it in a fancy hotel. Something like that. It does remind me, and it does give me that vibe. Later on in the fragrance you get some slightly spicy notes in there, and the sandalwood is really actually quite noticeable. I really noticed that a lot as my body started to warm up and the fragrance started to push off my skin. I think, I completely forgot to mention occasions and versatility and performance. I'll mention that later. So in the base you do get this kind of earthy vetiver as well. And yeah, it's kind of mixed in all with this soapiness, this sharpness from the lemon kind of stays throughout, and it's a nice fragrance. It's a very man's fragrance. I feel that this is a fragrance that my dad would wear and he would love it, and he would maybe have a 100 ml bottle and go through a few of those. Okay, so that pretty much is the fragrance for me. It does smell quite soapy and herbal and citrus, and that's pretty much what you're going to get. I completely forgot to mention longevity, and normally that's what I do at the start of my reviews. So longevity, quite good, nothing spectacular. I probably got about 5 to 6 hours. Projection, I never felt this was jumping off my skin, but I did notice it. Throughout the life of the fragrance. It did become a little bit quieter. I wouldn't describe the performance as great. I wouldn't describe it as poor. It's good. Versatility, well, this feels like it could be a mixture between casual and work. I think if you're going for something a little bit more upscale, I think you could go with better options. This is a great spring, summer, autumn style fragrance. You could also wear it, I actually don't see any reason why you couldn't wear it in the winter. Maybe there are better options, but it would be a good option. Quite versatile actually. So yeah, I mean, would I buy this fragrance? Well, no, I wouldn't actually. And the reason I wouldn't buy this fragrance is because this whole soapy vibe is not really my thing. And I kind of, I don't know, the soapy aromatic vibe, not really for me. I feel that if you do like that style, definitely check this out. I would also check out a couple of fragrances from Prada, which this reminds me of: Infusion d'Homme, Prada Amber Pour Homme, Infusion d'Iris. Also, if anybody knows the Italian house of Ortigia, this reminds me of their fragrance called Sandalo a little bit, well, the sandalwood aspect. Maybe if you're a fan of Acqua di Parma, but this is less citrus than some of the Acqua di Parmas. So yeah, worth checking out. It didn't blow me away. This is not a fragrance I will be buying, but I'm going to give it a rating of 7.5 out of 10. It is a really well executed fragrance in a typical Italian style, and this house, they know what they're doing and they like what they do. Or when I say like what they do, they have their signature and they have their style, and it's very Italian. And yeah, I praise them for that. Not really a fragrance for me. And is this a fragrance that you have tried? Does it sound interesting to you? Do you know anything about this house? Have you tried other fragrances from this house? Definitely worth checking out. It's not one of those houses for me that I'm overly impressed with, but it could be a reasons of maybe it's just not the style of fragrance is not really for me. Alright guys, well, thanks for watching, and I do appreciate your support, and check out my Facebook page, and see you guys soon. Bye.